Hey everyone, Jamie Phillips, Action Auto Parts, and I am in downtown Stanford, Kentucky. It's my hometown, and it is the second oldest town in the state, but they really got it looking good with the Christmas lights and stuff up. But what I wanted to do while I was here, I come to pick up some food at the little pizza place across the road. Now they had opened that up and it was really rocking and rolling pretty good, and then COVID hit. So they're just now kind of reopening it just Monday through Thursday from 5 to 8, and then they've got it where you can buy beer and wine in there. But this block here means a lot to me. I used to own that, and when I bought it, I bought this building here, the tall one. I bought it for $32,500, and it was a mess. The windows was falling out of it. There was a little barber shop there. The guy that cut hair there for over 50 years, which he's passed away, but he was the only really tenant in it, and some old real rough apartments. So I bought it $32,500. Then I bought this one on the end for $27,000, and then I bought the one in the middle for $60,000, and it had some land out back, but it was in a lot better shape. But me and my wife had a restaurant called Gabriel's Diner there back in 2000, 2001, and we actually lived upstairs. Really nice apartment that we'd done. But as time went on, it was just so much financially, I just didn't want to do it. I had a partner. I took on a partner that actually was the president of the bank, and that's their block down there. But the Bluebird restaurant, it's a farm-to-table restaurant, and this thing here is a high-end kind of a banquet type if you're having whatever type of thing. And then, of course, they redid the barber shop over there that was Pat's. Now they've got some hotel rooms up here. It's called the Stanford Inn. And this is a conference meeting thing that you can get. And if you do rent one of the rooms upstairs, it's got this little living room that you can come down and hang out in. And of course, in the summertime, you can sit out here. The great thing about this building, if I can get back out here from it, and I actually owned it at one time as well, it was a Chrysler Dodge Plymouth dealership back in the 40s up into the mid 60s, that being the showroom. And here, those doors open up and it drives down into, and there's a huge building that comes off the back down in the basement, and that's where they kept their extra inventory and done their mechanic work. Here was another barber shop, but as you can see, it's all gone. It's just this facade right now. They tore it all out. This building here was a hotel back in the 20s up into probably the 50s or so, and then it was a furniture store for many, many years. And same people owns it now, and I sold that out to them as well. But they plan on, I think, putting a hotel back in it again. But for right now, they've just got the storefronts decorated up. There had been some businesses here, but the lady passed away, and so they just got them kind of all done. Hopefully I don't get a call. That little building over there when I was a kid was a gas station, but then they built all that out in the front. Of course, this gas station here, they still pump your gas, do some mechanic work and what have you. But here is on the end. I was the one when I renovated the block and put those lights, and I had my restaurant, Gabriel's Diner, with a painting there, but then they've redone it like that. I was on the city council, and we bought this building and renovated it into a parking garage. And since then, the city has sold it to the gentleman that I was partners with, and he still leaves it a parking garage. But we had a little bitty museum, and they put in a beauty shop and stuff here called the Babe Cave, but they misspelt my name on the plaque. I don't know if you can see it or not, but yeah, it's not going to show up. Anyway, it says Jamie Phillips, but we redid this one. Lordy, it started out as a Willis Overland dealership, and then it was a Chevrolet garage here for a long time. And the actual showroom was out front, but it got in real bad shape and it had been torn down. So you can still come in here and park during the day for free. And then they got that beauty shop in there. And then the same people, which, not trying to toot my own horn, but it was my idea, and they ran with it. But we bought I bought those, well, there's 4 houses up that street, and I bought 3 of them for them. And those are rentals like Airbnbs or whatever. And then the big building, if I can get it blown up, that big, Lord, about a 4-story building up there used to be a mill where they ground corn and all that kind of stuff. And they own it, and they've got plans for it as well. But if I can get back over here, and I've got to go, I picked up the wife some supper. Whoop, trying to get the light to light back up on it. But yeah, at one time we had like a little automotive museum here, but they put in all of this back here, and it is just so awesome. If you come to any of the restaurants, they got this outdoor patio stuff, and I mean, it's just, I mean, this for a town of about 5,000 people. I mean, check this out. If you wanted to come outside and eat, and of course that's the back of the one building we used to live in. But the fireplace here and these seatings and the lights, I mean, it's just, you know, that's why I sold out, because I couldn't afford to do these type of things. I had the vision, we discussed it, but yeah, look at all this outside here, man. I'm telling you, you know, we discussed these types of things, but there was no way that I wanted to go, you know, that deep into debt. There's the back of the pizza place. Let's go back up this way real quick. That big building was built back in the 30s by the WPA, the Workers Progressive Association. And here's more parking. This is what went with when I bought the one for $65. All of this came with it, but the parking lot was not here by no means. But all this works, man, has been done. I'm talking millions of dollars has been spent. But look at all this custom made metal railing to go up around through here. The gentleman that was my partner that I sold out to, he owns a bunch of banks all over the state of Kentucky and holding companies and insurance companies, and that's their corporate office upstairs. When I bought that building, oh my God, you talking about nasty upstairs. There's our courthouse with the clock tower lit up on it. And there's our big library there. And there's more. Our old train depot has been renovated and really nice. It's up to the top of the hill. This building over here, that sign that's lit up, it's a spa. It's called Esther's Well House. When I was a kid, that was a laundromat, and that's when my mom would come to town and do the laundry. And there used to be just this driveway. Here was a little bitty shotgun restaurant called Bill and Myrtle's. There was a cleaners, there was a pool room, and then there was a tire place up through there. And then up here, in part of the property that we own, used to be a black funeral home. But all of that we tore down. It became really, really rough and was just old apartments and what have you. So, but the Bluebird here, when I was a young kid, it was a Kroger's, and it switched to just an independent. But over across the street is a ladies' boutique my wife buys a lot of stuff at, called Morgan's on Main, but it was an A&P grocery store. And then that little building over there was a grocery store. Here was a grocery store, and then where I had the restaurant, where I just got the pizza, it was an IGA grocery store. So when I was a kid, you would see young men pushing grocery carts up and down the streets. You would say, well, I'm parked down here or whatever. And you could go on shopping, and they would take your groceries to your car and put them up for you. And then when you got to your car, they was already there. But lots of other little shops and stuff over here. Of course, from there down and upstairs is all the banking stuff. And then, of course, here's Morgan's shop. And man, she has people from all over coming buy clothes here. She's just a great young woman. But there's her drugstore right down on the east end of the block. It's been there since back in the 30s or 40s. This building here, Kentucky Soaps and Such, is owned by the same people's wife, and they make goat milk soap, and they do a lot of Kentucky products. She's an author, and she writes books and stuff. But look at this window display. I mean, just outstanding. And when I was a kid, this was called Severance's, and it was a ladies' store. And I've actually got the showcase. If you've seen some of my videos with my Burger Queen Druthers stuff and my toys, that big showcase came out of Severance's. And so now we're back. It's done 10 minutes long. I'm gonna run and get me something to eat and head back to the house. She'll be coming home from the gym. But the other night I thought, man, I need to do one when the Christmas lights is on. And so, yeah, there you go. When I owned them buildings, I renovated that, turned out super nice. It was a law office for several years, but they have redone or going to redo the bottom again. And right now it's just, they got that fake facade on it just for to keep people from looking in it or whatever. It's got to be redone again. But that is my hometown, Stanford, Kentucky. And I was on the city council for 8 years, which was 4 two-year terms. And then, of course, lived up there. We had a smaller house back at the other end of town directly behind me that I bought and renovated. And then we had a 2-story house down the street that we lived in for about 5 years, moved up here, lived up there for about a year, and then I leased the restaurant out and quit running it. And we moved, and I remodeled, and we moved back down to the 2-story house and lived there about a year, and then I sold that and we moved to where we're at now. There's Coleman's drugstore. That's the old drugstore. It's been here forever. And there's our courthouse. And in here, one of my best friends has got an upholstery shop, antique shop. That used to be a Case dealership. And upstairs is the radio station I used to DJ. And then there's one of the beautiful churches on the street. That was a Super Test gas station when I was a kid, and I always liked that. There's our old city hall, which is now the police department. The new city hall is this house right here, and I bought it, and me and my wife and daughter was going to move in it, and started the renovation, and had it about 50%. And the guy said, "You wouldn't sell that, would you?" And I said, "Yes, I would." And I sold it. This old building here used to be the hospital. I was born there in March of '63. And then in June of '63, what was then the new hospital opened, which now we've got another new hospital, and that old one's closed. Since I'm so close to where we lived at, on if it'll show up, there's some beautiful big homes. Ours was a 2-story, but it wasn't the biggest, and it was that one right there. I put that fence up and done all that landscaping, but we lived there in that house. So, and there's a car parts place and what have you. So there you go, hometown tour. And I'm gonna wrap it up. Appreciate you riding along with me. I hope you have a great evening. Give me a thumbs up, leave a comment, please subscribe. And I'm gonna run down here to the Mexican restaurant and get me some supper. And I've got hers here. She should be getting ready to come home in a little bit. Oh, and I don't know if it'll show up, but over on this corner is our lumber yard. It's called Builder's Supply. And I worked there from, I think like 89. I worked there about 5 years, 88 maybe, 88 I think it was, to 93. Super great guy. I mean, he started it in '63, the year I was born in. But they had a real old building, and throughout time it finally, they replaced it and built just a real nice, beautiful building and showroom. But there it is. That's our local lumber yard, and just great people. And so, yeah, I've worked there about 5 years, and now here is the Mexican Restaurante. So I'm gonna go in here and get me something to eat. Please subscribe. Check out Beamer & Son Garage up in Bethel, Ohio. And and as always, Feliz Navidad. I will catch you in the next one.